Hello and welcome to Peaceful Rebellion. Well, today we are with John Gilbert. Hello, John.
Hello, Gordon.
Thank you very much for joining us, John. And the reason that we're talking with John is because John heads up what is called the Community Assembly of the British Isles. And I think there are lots of other names as well that go with it, but that's the principal one. And so what I wanted to do was just to talk to John and find out, I've heard about this, but to find out more. And as John says, he normally spends 4 hours talking about this. We're going to try and compress that into 40 minutes. So it's going to be very much an overview, and then it's for you to find out more going forward. So, John, tell us, first of all, how long has the Community Assembly been together, has been running?
Formed our first community assembly about 6 years ago,
Hmm.
but the idea sort of came through about 7 years ago. So it's where you like to start from as far as that's concerned. By the way, I normally talk for 4 hours because I can talk, not because I've actually got anything to say.
Okay, I can put myself in that group. So you're saying it started 6, 7 years ago. So the idea of it happened before, and obviously this comes out on YouTube, so we've got to use our language in a careful way, yeah, which I'm sure you're aware of. Before the pandemic, the idea was sown, yes?
Yeah, it wasn't really. It was sparked into operation by that, but it
Mm.
wasn't really the original one. The original ideas came from. There's lots of people that have tried these ideas. One really good person was Hamish Miller,
Uh-huh.
uh, and he started an alternative society, but it didn't take off. I don't think it was ready at that time. So it came about 10 years later,
Right.
when it started to gel, because I was doing a lot of work in the medical profession, and I could see things going absolutely wrong. It was not right at all, and so there had to be an alternative, and we started thinking about alternatives. But these things take time.
Sure. Absolutely. So just to help us to kind of get an idea, a visual in our head, if you, I know it won't be easy, but if you're going to just give us an umbrella idea of what this community assembly is.
Okay, it's about people governing themselves.
Mhm.
And it takes a little bit of doing because everybody wants to say, oh no, we've got to do this or we've got to do that, or we've got to get this done. No, let the people vote. So we have set up, and we start with the world, because there are community assemblies not just in the British Isles. There are assemblies elsewhere. We also look at words, by the way, so we call it the British Isles. We don't use the word UK.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, the whole point of this is that you have centralized systems only for passing information. The actual governance comes from the members or the people themselves, and they pass on the ideas. So we have what we call facilitators. They're volunteers, by the way. We don't elect facilitators. There's no elections. So people step up, step forward, say, yes, we'll become a facilitator. We need 3 facilitators for each community assembly. This is in the smallest form. The reason for that is because of the amount of energy that's produced when 3 people get together.
Hmm.
The power of 3.
Yeah.
So we always have 3 facilitators. We can't start a community assembly without those 3.
Okay.
Those 3 are not, don't govern anybody. They're servants. Okay, so you have local facilitators who are servants to the members. You then have regional facilitators who cooperate with other regions, and they work with the local facilitators, making sure that they can do what the members want again. And then you go up until you get to the national facilitators. National facilitators we usually call emissaries, only because emissary means messenger.
Indeed. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have this system for passing information and for making decisions to get things done, but on the backs of what the members have said. The other thing, of course, is that we have this ethic where, you don't move up the ladder, you actually climb down it. It's an upside down organization.
Okay.
And people have got to get that preference or that thing inside their heads that they are servants of the people. We're just about to have a vote now, because if we voted about something in the past, I can operate on it now. But if it's something new or something that is monumental, as far as we're concerned, then it has to go to the members, and we're about to have one.
Okay. Can you share what that would be about, or is that not something?
Oh, we've been talking to another group that's very much on the same line as us. They're very spiritual in their organisation as well, and it is the what's the name? Oh, I can't remember what their names are. It's the Council for Health, the World Council for Health.
Okay.
WCH. That's what I can't remember. Is those. And that's Teslari, and they do seem to be very much on the same line as us, and they have more world views than us, and more assemblies or whatever you want to call it around the world than us. And it was rather nice because we can help each other.
Excellent. Okay. So it's everyone has to decide whether that connection is made. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. And you've got communities. How widespread are they? Because I know there's some in Spain. Because your friend who introduced us, he gave me some places that are here in Spain.
Yeah, we've got a lot of people that follow us in China as well, and Russia even. And
wow.
But we don't say they've got to keep to any one format. Again, this is back to the members. The members actually dictate what format they operate in, and then we pick the best out of it, and that becomes a format which we advertise. Then we say, this works, that works,
sure,
and that's on the website. But it's not, you must follow this. This works, but it might not work for you.
Okay.
Yeah? Down here in Cornwall, we wear flip-flops all year round. We can't have any mandate that says you've got to wear flip-flops all the year round, because what are the people in Scotland going to do?
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Right. Super. So, you're telling me this, and I'm laughing on the inside only because, I don't know if you know anything about what I do. I know you're kind of invited to this channel, but I actually have a spiritual channel, and I give messages about the Great Awakening that are given to me, and by a group of light beings called the Emissaries of God. So it's just interesting that you use the word emissaries. And one of the key things that they always talk about going forward is that when the system, this horrible, awful system, collapses, which it's inevitably it has to, it's going to be replaced by community rule. And that was something they told me about 6 years ago. Community rule, where we all work, we have small communities that are linked. It's just exactly as you've described it, where the little communities are then linked to other communities, and then, all good practices shared and things like that. It's really interesting that you're telling me that. So where do you see this going to, John?
I don't know exactly where it's going to, because I'm a bit thick. And don't spill your cocoa. And they feed me the information bit by bit. Now I get messages the same as you do.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's actually being fed out all around the world.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people are not taking it up. Some people are going with it. And they probably looked down on me and said, there's an empty head down there, we'll just fill it up with ideas.
Sure.
And it's something which we learn to tune into. all of this, but we're all receiving the same ideas. We're all receiving it from someone, something that we call the creator, because we found that's more universal, just calling them the creator. But I don't feel it's something which is helping us. It's to help us get out of this mess.
Absolutely. How long have you been receiving these kind of messages then?
I think most of my life, but I haven't really recognized them. It wasn't until maybe 5 or 6 years ago that I felt quite strongly that something is telling me. And I thought at the time, maybe this is the other side trying to tell me to do things and get me to go in the wrong direction, but it didn't feel right. And then, rather like Hamish, I sort of learned to use rods, and the rods can, and then found that the rods can also lie, and then eventually it goes to heart, because when you feel something's right, you do it.
Yeah, fascinating. Yeah, because 6 years ago that happened to me. I was given a very strong message, but they would only talk to me by yes, no, moving my head, yes, no.
Yeah.
But then very quickly it developed into where I get the messages come to me and I just understand them, so that's fascinating. So you said that this is a spiritual group, yeah?
It is.
Yeah, a spiritual group. Do you see it as a religion?
No. No, mainly because of the definition of religion. So it's a cooperation.
Okay.
We're cooperating with each other, and that is for the benefit of what's to come. So in that cooperation, we are going with heart, but at the same time, we've also got to be very practical, because they're setting up these community assemblies. Those community assemblies here, where I am, we have courts, our own courts. We have our own constables. We have peacekeepers, which has been something which is agreed on, and this was all agreed on internationally. It's all the courts are set up in a certain way. We have our own health service. We have our own dentists. We have our own naturopaths, doctors, and so on. Legal services. We don't yet have a fully functional service for teaching.
Okay.
Because we haven't really worked out exactly what's going to go on yet. But we do have a lot of people who are homeschooling their children. And we are quite adamant that as far as the government is concerned, here in Cornwall we have something which is very special, which we are our own country.
All right.
So that has been defined, and the agreements are still in operation. It's always been its own country. It was known as an island once before.
Okay.
So we actually don't have to accept legislation. But if you look at law says you don't have to accept legislation. You didn't have to accept man-made laws. We're talking about law as opposed to legislation.
Yeah.
We have to accept it. We don't have to agree to it. Right at the beginning, there was a lot of people going around saying, I do not comply, I do not consent. They were actually right. It sounded ridiculous at the time, but they were actually right. You do not have to consent. So if you want to, you can. So if you want to obey the speed limits, well, if you go over by 5 to 10 miles an hour and it's all safe to do so, what on earth are they actually prosecuting you for?
Mm-hmm.
Because you've not done any harm and you're still operating safely. If it's pouring down with rain, you reduce the speed by an awful lot.
Sure.
So this is up to the person. It's not up to government to say, oh, you must do this speed. Are they going to start prosecuting you next for not doing enough?
Mm-hmm.
It's a 70 mile an hour speed limit. You were only doing 63 miles an hour. And the whole thing is utterly ridiculous what they're doing. And now, actually, because they can't prosecute you for speeding, because if you don't say I was the person in that car that was speeding, what do they do now? They now prosecute you for not telling them who was in the car speeding.
Okay.
I mean, it's utterly ludicrous. The whole thing is utterly ludicrous. So we made it right from the beginning that nobody that joins the community assemblies has anything to do with legislation unless they want to. They've got to enter into contract.
Mm-hmm.
It's not assumed.
Okay, and because of that, I mean, I'm aware of a lot of this happening in many different pockets of people going against the paradigm of, we do not need to comply to this. Has that taken you into any difficulties with sort of the law, or with
To start with,
yeah,
there were difficulties. But we don't want to. The police have a job to do.
sure,
Whether they're doing it right or not is not up for us to say. But they do know that we have no respect for them unless they earn it. So we have talked to the police. We have, like I said, we have our own constables. They're in uniform so that they can be easily recognised, not for any other reason. And it's actually, well, I'm dressed down today, but I'm usually quite colourful. Mm-hmm. And it's got maroon coloured berries, and we have purple jackets and things like this. So it doesn't look so bad. It actually looks quite smart, but it sounds absolutely awful.
Maroon is it's not always a colour everyone can get away with.
That's right. Yeah, I use makeup. So we, the last time we went down to the police station, we went down in uniform, and they were feeling very uncomfortable. But we explained things to them, how they can operate and how they cannot operate, trying to force somebody to pay something that they haven't agreed to, which they were doing. They were backing up agents, and they've now stopped doing that down here.
Wow!
But it was their choice. We just gave them the information, and they made the choice.
Okay. Excellent. And how big is the group at the moment, and how fast is it growing for you?
Oh, well, we've got 5 new assemblies this week. I'm going to have to look it up.
Sure.
We have 164 assemblies in the British Isles at the moment.
Excellent.
The aim is to get to over 200 very soon.
Uh-huh.
And if we're doing 5 a week, we could probably get there maybe 6 weeks.
Okay, wow, so fast, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We want to go higher than that, so that we have, again, our friends upstairs have been knocking on my head and saying that this is the number of assemblies and this is by when.
Oh, so very specific information that you get.
It's very specific, down to a day.
Wow. Okay. So if somebody was interested in and wanted to join and become part of an assembly or form an assembly, what would they have to do?
First thing is to go onto the website and really have a good look around the website, because it's enormous.
Okay, I'll put the website details in this video information.
It's all around, because information has come from all around the world. It's just grown. We've got a very lovely lady called Sue, who has been came into the community assemblies when we had to reform.
Mm-hmm.
We had to reform because there was so much infiltration. Uh-huh. We couldn't control anything. We had to say, right, stop, let's start again. And we were getting hammered by newspapers, by radio programs, and people actually coming around to meetings, and we had a lot of violence as well, where meetings were broken up violently. So there was everything they could to actually stop us growing.
Yeah.
And we had to reduce down and almost start again.
When did that happen? The Reformation?
That was about 4 years ago now.
Wow. Okay.
So it was a difficult decision to make, because at that time we had 137 community assemblies, and it wasn't a good decision to have to make, but we had to.
Yeah.
And the other thing was that we were using one facilitator for each group, and we knew that was wrong, because one person can be taken over, 3 people can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a much more tight-knit group that way.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah. Okay. You know, it's obviously you've got a world view, you've got an ideal of based on the information that you were given, where this is going to go to and what it's going to be like. Where do you see everybody, the world, if you want to call it, at the moment? Where do you see us, and how do you see things going forward?
I see a world of cooperation, where people are looking out for each other, where people aren't worried about stepping on the person next to them because they want to get to the top of the ladder first, and where money isn't so held in such high esteem. It's just a way of exchanging energy. And it is happening. We have we have meetings with Zoom meetings with people who are in other countries, like yourself, and we do take in all sorts of ideas. We have a trust, for instance, which was the Antipodeans, the Australians and New Zealanders put together this trust, which was based on the Bible. And it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. And it works.
Okay.
And because, as you know, the Bible is actually a book of law. So that trust now, how much does it normally cost to set up a private trust? £2,000-3,000, maybe even more sometimes. £10.
Wow.
Because it's just an exchange of energy.
Okay.
Yeah. So we take the £10 that they give us, and we send that over to New Zealand, and they use it over there. But that's all it is. It's just an exchange of energy. A thank you to say thanks for that hard work.
Okay. Can you just help me to understand, because you're saying trust based on the Bible. How does that work? How does that look?
Well, there's plenty of stuff in the Bible that actually says that, let's say that God, the creator, or the creator, is the head honcho when it comes to the trust for the world. It's already there. You know, we have an obligation placed on us to look after this planet of ours. So when it comes to the trust itself, what we have is the creator is actually the settler in the trust, because it says so in the Bible. It says that the creator is the head of our trust in the Bible, not the same words.
Sure.
And that then becomes a private trust. So the settler is the creator, and then the trustees are the people in the trust themselves. The beneficiaries are in that as well. But there is also a sort of hierarchy there anyway, because if anything happens to the trustee, the beneficiaries can step up and run the trust.
Okay.
And become trustees. So that trust can go on ad infinitum, purely and simply because the creator is the head of the trust.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to stop.
Okay, that makes sense. Very nice, very nice. So what would happen in a typical, when the group gets together, let's say 3 members, what would they discuss?
What they want to, what's important to them in their area. So they started off with discussing what they want, And then as members come in, because it acts like a beacon, it's a beacon of energy. People come in, okay? So the others who come in afterwards will change the opinions of the three who started. So it's got to be flexible, whatever happens. It does seem to be that when a model works, other people take up that model. Don't have to lay down any rules. They can do it as they want, but they can take up that model.
Okay.
And that seems to happen most of the time. And so we've become very close with certain areas, especially like South Yorkshire, for instance. They're really going for it in South Yorkshire.
Really?
And they want to create their own territory. Now, Cornwall, Devon, Somerset and Dorset, back in 936 AD, was a territory. It was a complete group of people back then, and parts of Wiltshire as well. We've recreated that by registering it as an Indigenous territory. So we have now, and it was never objected to. So in the time limit is gone now, so I can say about it now. It's
okay.
They're too late. Your objections will be noted, but they won't be acted upon. So we have the territory now of Kernow. And other areas in Childs want to do the same. They want to say, we are a people. We want to be recognized as a people. We want to be an Indigenous population or an Indigenous territory, and they're allowed to do that. But we did start down this end, probably because it started from Cornwall and then sort of spread up.
Yeah.
Very quickly. Devon and Somerset, Dorset, they came in quite quickly. And there are other people now that are following suit. So, Yorkshire, Lincolnshire, Lancashire, now the Iceni tribes, which were the Iceni tribes, which were North Norfolk, they are starting to pick up now. Wales is starting to come in now. Scotland is not yet doing anything, not for the want of trying for the people that are up there trying to get something going, but because there seems to be a lot of apathy up there. Right. Once they overcome that, then I'm pretty sure the Scots are going to come in like a bull in a china shop, to be honest. They're that sort of people.
Yeah. It's interesting, what you're describing, because I talk to a lot of people, and this theme of coming together and creating an infrastructure for these people, and maybe taking land as well, and stuff like that. I was just talking to a lovely gentleman who does lots of great work up in Gateshead.
Yeah.
And he's working on building a group and in Northumberland, and getting their own land and their own community and everything, so I have a feeling that what you're working on, what your group's working on, is in the minds of many other people.
Yeah.
And the idea would be how beautiful for all of those people to come together and become a very powerful mechanism. Yeah.
We don't take over anything. If a group is there, they operate as they were.
Sure.
But they plug into the information set that we have. And it's usually pretty seamless. So somebody creates a group, they plug into what we've got. We don't govern them in any way, because again, it's got to be up to them to manage their own things. But the added benefits are because they've got more information coming in, or they might have other benefits, such as being able to, if you've got a community assembly in Bulgaria and a community assembly in Cornwall, you have a right to travel from Cornwall to Bulgaria unhindered.
Okay.
But we do tell everybody to travel on their passports. But if they're actually going to see the group over there, we give them diplomatic papers so that people know that they're traveling on business.
Okay. It's really interesting, that. Really interesting.
We've come a long way down the line.
Yeah, I can see. This is not. I mean, from what you're telling me, there's a lot of thought that's gone into this, and I suppose the bigger that you get, the more skills you're going to import, where people can bring ideas and ways forward. Have you heard of the work of a man called from South Africa, Michael Tellinger,
Oh,
and,
Michael, yes.
and One Small Town, his initiative?
Yeah, we were going to join up with them, but we've had to keep it at a distance because his ideas are work with the current system
Okay.
rather than working alone, or rather, he's sort of half and half.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, we're Cornish. I'm sorry, it's all or nothing.
I think Michael Tellinger's been working on that for, I don't know, I think maybe the last 20 years or something. So I think when he started, it was a very different place. The world was a different place. And
Yeah,
now, now what's very clear, John, to me and to many other people, is that the paradigm that we've been living, the system is broken. This is a broken system. So there's no point in trying to ally ourselves with their system. It's got to be new. It's got to be complete. It's got to be an original system, which sounds like is what you're creating.
yeah. And one of my many jobs in past lives, or this past life, was as a civil servant. So, and I'm not going to tell you which one because I don't think I'm allowed to.
Right. Okay.
But I saw the corruption,
Yeah.
and there's no way to fix it. Anybody who thinks they're going to change the system. Bulgaria was factory good. That's one of the reasons I've been looking at. We have one of our customers is one of our constables is Bulgarian,
Mhm.
and a dentist, and she's working over here. And one of the things that she was telling me was that Bulgaria tried to replace all their corrupt governments, and they replaced it with something that was even more corrupt than it was in the first place. So, over there, honestly, you driving on their roads, they don't have roads, they have potholes.
Right.
And you try to drive between the potholes. It's absolutely awful over there. Everything's awful over there.
Sure.
But
Sure.
the people are absolutely wonderful.
And it's the same. Here in Spain, for example. I don't know whether you heard just recently we've had some major train crashes because the lines weren't maintained. They haven't been maintaining them. They've been running for a long time, and the government, although it hasn't spent any money on that at all. Or, just sent 188 million to another country. And it's like this can't go on. This can't go on this way. We can't run with the corruption at the levels that it's at. I mean, I too was a civil servant, by the way, when I was very young. It was my first job, and I left that thinking, these people are running our country. It was like I don't know, it was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
I've never seen worse, honestly. I've never seen people treated so badly.
Mm,
The teams over there, I mean, we had teams of 9 people, which is absolutely correct. You can't go any further
sure,
than groups of 9 people if you want them to all work together, because they start breaking up.
sure.
So, knowing all of this, they decided to take it up to 11 people in a team. I'm sorry, but you knew all of this. You knew these people were going to start breaking up into smaller teams. You knew that this was going to happen, and you still expect them to operate? No.
Mm,
They were just, what's the expression? They're thick as 2 short planks. They really,
indeed, yeah.
they just don't know what they're doing.
There's also, in those levels, there's just this lack of humanity, lack of compassion, lack of interest. It's kind of the lacking.
Yeah.
I often say, I only knew one good politician, and they got rid of him.
You knew one.
Andrew Bridgen, and they got
Oh,
rid of
right.
him.
Oh, dear old Andrew again. He got it in the neck, didn't he?
Absolutely, but for me, he was the only one who actually was honest, and that you couldn't be a politician. You can't be a politician and be honest.
No, they soon got rid of him, didn't they?
They did, yeah, they
Yeah.
really did.
Yeah, they tried to get rid of me as well, so quite a few times.
Really.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd take a little bit more shifting than that.
It sounds to me that you've got quite a character, quite a strength of character, John.
No, like I said, I'm thick as two short planks. No, everybody else knows what to do. I just have to get down and do it.
Very good, very good. Well, listen, John, it's been a fascinating conversation. I would love to have a conversation in the future. Because it sounds like your group is evolving with this at a pace. It would be lovely to talk about that. Did I hear that you were having some kind of big meetup that you were organizing, or have I misunderstood that?
Oh no, we have them all the time.
Right. Maybe that's what I understood it. Maybe I misunderstood what I was being told.
We had one in South Yorkshire, well, Rotherham. We went to Gainsborough in Lincolnshire and then over to Rotherham. And the planes were up in the skies,
Yeah.
spreading their stuff. And all day the day before, it absolutely poured with rain. Honestly, it was completely drenching. And everybody stood in the fields getting soaking wet for about 5 hours. They weren't going to be beaten.
Sure.
I was so impressed with that. I thought these are my people.
Yeah.
This is my type.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't be moved, these are the people that are going to create something new.
Absolutely. And I think this is a mentality that I'm seeing come through much more, which is this far and no further. That's enough. And I think people are getting to that point where they're just saying that's enough. We won't accept anymore. We're up to here. We're up to here, really.
Yes.
Yeah.
The people that are out there now, I'm proud to be part of it.
Yeah.
And did I say, sorry, they're up here telling me at the moment I just said something wrong. I said they're my people. It's my type of people.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't own anybody. Everybody owns me, a piece of me.
Sure. Yeah. Very beautiful. Very beautiful. And as I said, it ties in perfectly with what I've been taught about how we're going forward. Everything has to fall, and this kind of idea, this community rule where we truly are. I mean, the word, and it's such a horrible word, which is democracy, is used. It's used like a weapon, or it is used like a weapon, literally. But it's used so cheaply now, and it means absolutely nothing. It means absolutely nothing. Truly, what we a community is where we are all the same. And we all decide, and we work as one, and it's going to be beautiful when it happens.
Self-governing.
Yeah, self-governance.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one we like. That's the first word, or the first phrase that I learned that said, "Hold on a minute, this is something new." Self-governance.
Yeah.
And somebody said to me, "Oh, that's anarchy." And I said, "Yes, please. I'll have some of that."
Well, the thing that we've been taught, and I was going to bring this to an end, but it's a nice little, just a little finisher. But we've had inculcated in us that we are not capable of managing ourselves. It's been a very strong message that I believe we've been on purpose given. And so you hear people saying, well, of course we've got to be ruled, because if we weren't ruled, there would be anarchy. And the truth of the matter is that we are, if we work on the golden rule, which is, do unto others as you would have them do to you, and do no harm. With those, there's nothing much can go wrong. In fact, virtually everything can go right. The problem that we've got is that people aren't living to those kind of standards. And so self-governance is about that. Follow your heart. You should follow your divinity, and be like God, be godlike, and that's it. You know, it's
Well, according to the Bible, God is in all of us anyway, or a part of God is a bit of God is in all of us.
absolutely.
But to my mind, the word God is too short. It should have been good,
Yeah,
because there's good in all of us.
absolutely, absolutely. And apparently, so we're told, we were made in God's image.
Yeah.
So that's a good start, isn't it? Really? I mean, you can't get much better than that, can you?
Well, we have had a good start. We just ruin it for ourselves sometimes. But
Sure.
no, this honestly does work.
Yeah.
What you should do is you should join up from the website, join into it, and you get all the messages coming through then to yourself.
Yeah, I certainly will. I was looking at because I got your groups and they're all in the south of Spain. We haven't got one in Madrid yet, but hey, I'm
Yeah,
sure we could.
let's go. Even just as a single person, it doesn't really matter. You're getting the information, you can pass it on to other people.
Super, super. I should do that, John. John, thank you so much for spending time with us. I appreciate that you have a very, very busy schedule and you've taken a bit of time out to talk to us. So I appreciate it. If anybody wants to have a look at the website, the details are in the video information, and I would commend you to do that. I'm sure this can only be good.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure, Gordon. It has been a pleasure, Gordon.
Equally, John. So we will talk perhaps in the future when things have moved on again, and we can get a sort of an update on where you are. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll keep you updated anyway. Don't worry.
Thank you very much, John. I appreciate it.